Welcome to the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show, and I'm your host, Richard Wray. My mission is to help entrepreneurs understand AI and use it to their advantage. Join me today where we dig deep with our guest and get you the best concepts and strategies. Today's special guest is Kathy Kaye. Kathy makes best-selling authors. She published her first book in 2009, is the founder of the Bestsellers Guild and BSG Publishing. She helps leaders write best-selling books and turn them into high-value online courses. She has nearly 700 best-selling authors with a 100% success rate. Today, we're talking about leveraging AI to ethically write and publish a best-selling book. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Really great to have you here. And I'd like to ask all my guests, Kathy, where in the world are you?
I am near Portland, Oregon.
Oh, very nice part of the world. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, well, before we get into the topic today, tell us a little bit about yourself. You published a book in 2009, and there must be a story there in its own right.
Oh, well. So I started out in internet marketing in 1997, the 1900s, way back when.
I'm
And
old
in
enough, don't worry.
2009, yeah, right. In 2009, I wrote my first book and it became a bestseller. And I realized that having a best-selling book is absolutely fire in marketing. And so I turned to all my clients and I'm like, do you have a book? We need to make it a bestseller. Do you have a book? We need to make it a bestseller. And they all said the same thing. I've been meaning to, I haven't gotten around to it. So then we had to figure out a way how to take their speaking engagement or writings or anything that we possibly could get our hands on to turn it into a quality book and make it a bestseller. And that was the beginning of what I now do, because it is the number one most impactful thing you can do for your business and marketing is to have a best-selling book. So
and what's the process of actually making it a bestseller? Because people could write wonderful things and they go nowhere, or there's been some books which I thought have been absolutely awful that have become bestsellers. So how do you go about it?
Absolutely, that is 100% true. It is marketing. It always has been, always will be, back since the 1800s of publishing books. We often talk about New York Times bestsellers. The people don't know what's really behind a New York Times bestseller. Sometimes it's a promotion for a book that's never even been read yet that they know will make it a bestseller. Right. Sometimes it's an opinion of, we like this book off of this list, we're going to add it. It's not as cut and dry as people think. Now, Amazon bestsellers simply are how many people have read the book. That's it. And where you get in your rankings is based on how many people have read the book, how many people leave reviews. So it's really about, it levels the playing field, and it really is about marketing. You can have a fantastic book and have nobody ever hear about it because your marketing stinks. Or you can have a so-so book that makes really great splash initially as a bestseller, but you're not going to stick around if the quality content isn't there.
But you've got that tag which says you are a best-selling author.
Right.
I myself have got that on my LinkedIn profile because, I have written things and I've become a best-selling author. So yes, I understand.
Yeah, and it makes all the difference in the world. I've had doctors tell me that the credentials of being a best-selling author have done more for them than their initials of being a doctor ever did.
Quite amazing, isn't it?
It really is. It really helps you stand out in the crowd and be recognized and seen as an expert. But then you really have to bring it. I can get you an A on the first day of school, but are you going to keep it? I can get your foot in the door, but then what are you going to do with it? Do you have quality content, speaking engagements, and all that kind of thing? So I really focus on that full circle, not just an end product of a book, but it's more about launching that full marketing campaign, turning it into an online program.
That makes complete sense. But let's get into the AI side of things, because a lot of people say, hey, I just wrote a book in 5 minutes flat using AI. It was easy. And obviously we're talking about leveraging AI to ethically write and publish a best-selling book.
Right.
Tell us what your thoughts are here.
So ethically, and that's the biggest thing that comes about is, people talking about those 5-minute write-ups. And it's absolutely possible to have AI write something from scratch that's fiction that doesn't even exist. You go to AI, you say, write me a fiction book about two robots who fell in love. It makes
Mhm.
up a story from nowhere. That's not what we do. I help people who are writing nonfiction, mostly self help books. So their content is their stories, their solution, their formula, their four pillars, whatever their content is. That can't be made up, it can't be pulled from somewhere else. It's their content. But AI helps them structure the content,
Mhm.
especially if they're first time authors. It helps them edit and maybe say something more clearly. There's no such thing as having writer's block anymore. Like you can't. You've got AI at your fingertips. It's going to give you solutions, options, prompts, questions, correct your grammar on the spot so instantly. So at the core, it's still their message. And in the end, they have to read through every little bit of it and make sure it's exactly what they want to say, how they want to say it. And that's what makes it ethical AI.
How
That's
do
my
you how do you respond to people who are suggesting that by using AI all the time, and a massive increase in potential authors, from what you're saying by the sounds of it, there's going to be a certain vanilla flavor to some of the content that's coming out. It'll all start to sound the same. The forget about the fictional side, even the non-fictional side. It will have the same sort of tone. How do you get away from that?
so for example, we use ChatGPT a lot.
Mhm.
ChatGPT is only as good as its prompts, and those come from humans. So, for example, in the editing portion of what we do, I have an expert who's been in the industry for over 20 years and has published with Simon and Schuster and some of the big publishing companies. She knows her stuff. So I asked her, if you were to, qualify, what would you want your editors, what would you want your Chat GPT editor to do? And she gave me details like, um, use serial comma, act as an editor with this kind and that kind of approach, use the Chicago Manual of Style 17th edition, use the Webster's Dictionary Collegiate, I think it was 11th edition, maybe. Like she was very, very, very specific.
Mhm.
So, in really being specific about how you want to edit it and requiring that they keep as much of the original voice as possible, as much of the original content as possible. You can prompt it for the style that you want, of like, keep it more casual, keep it more formal, more academic. So, the better the prompt, the better the quality of the output. So, yes, if you have people putting in generic prompts, you're going to get generic content. But those of us who use really specific, well done prompts from really smart humans, the content's going to shine. It's going to be better than it ever was before. So the content that was original and great by an individual author is now going to be up leveled because we're still using humans. It makes the difference, all the difference.
That's really interesting. So you basically describing what I've seen with a lot of people with ChatGPT. They put in some simple prompts. They go, "This is a lot of fun," but when they try and use it in a more professional or systematic way, they don't quite take it to the level it needs to get to.
Right. Right. Because they don't know what to ask half the time.
Mhm.
You don't know that there's different kinds of editors, different kinds of editing, different kinds of formal editing, different styles and specifics and things you got to put in. That's just the editing portion, because how you want to have a type of editor do sales copy, marketing copy, blog copy, a manuscript, a full length manuscript, a short read, they're all different. So if you just say, Chat GPT, edit this, I don't know what you're going to get. I really don't.
Interesting. What's your opinion on people that are actually using ChatGPT to create the majority of the content and are really just kind of, maybe trimming around the edges?
So I did see something that was fabulously created, completely 100% AI. And it's a graphic novel from a friend of mine who's an artist. And she actually got ChatGPT to create a full graphic novel. It's a good quality story, good quality images. I was really impressed. And of course, when you print that on, like if you publish with Amazon, you have to divulge that it is 100% AI generated. But Amazon has always, I mean, for a long, long, long time, well over a decade, had and endorsed AI enhanced or AI assisted content. People have been using Grammarly,
Mhm.
Otter, all kinds of other programs out there, not realizing that they're using AI and thinking that that's perfectly fine. And now all of a sudden it's like AI is a bad thing. No, we've been using it for a very long time. We use it on our phone every time we go shopping on Amazon, anytime we're on Facebook. I mean, it's in everything and people don't realize it. So they really do benefit from it, but don't realize that's what they're doing. And then they hear some buzzwords and it turns them off from all this possibility that we have at our fingertips.
Very interesting. You said something I thought was particularly poignant there. We've been using AI with products like Grammarly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, OpenAI did not invent AI. It has been with us for a very long time.
Right, right. Like Otter AI. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Otter.ai. Like I know they've been around for over a decade. And I never really understood or it never registered with me that Otter.ai is artificial intelligence. I never got that AI. I just
Until
used it as a tool.
ChatGPT started to raise the zeitgeist of
Yeah,
AI.
exactly. And I've had my clients using it for a very long time. Like, however, I need to get the content out of our authors, we do.
Mhm.
Most of them are first time authors. They're really great at what they do. 3-time silver medal Olympians, attorneys, doctors, um, coaches, all kinds of different people that have something great to share, but they didn't go to college specifically to be an author.
Mhm.
So they need a little extra assistance. So they can speak their stories and then either upload it to Otter or speak it into Otter and it transcribes it. Hello, AI. People have been doing it for a long time, not really realizing it.
That's fantastic. So how how do you get people over that initial fear of, first of all, putting something to paper or to screen these days, but also using AI? Because there is really a lot of people are intimidated by both of those things.
Well, so being able to actually share your story, most of the people that I work with, they already have this like burning desire to share something really important with the world. That's what they're driven to do. And when they find out that having a best-selling book will help them stand out in the crowd, will help them make more money in their business, will be seen as an expert, can turn it into an online course that generates 100,000 plus, then they're like, okay, now I'm motivated to actually do it. And then I have a free workshop that helps them basically outline their content so that they know what they're going to be sharing. And
Mhm.
then they get excited. The AI part of it is more recent. And I have some people that have given me pushback and want to be more traditional. And then I have a whole onslaught of people that are like, I've been waiting for somebody to do this. I'm so excited. So yeah, it's still kind of a mix with the AI.
So has AI changed the sort of demographic of people that you have approaching you? Have you seen like a new seam of people coming in who you just haven't seen before?
Really, no. To be honest, it was kind of surprising. I thought that it
Mhm.
would be more of a younger crowd that would
Yeah.
be eager to use it, and a lot of the people that I have, because I just recently launched a new program, and a lot of the people that I have joining it are people who did my program previously without AI and are jumping in to do their second, third, fourth book now with AI, excited to be able to speed up the process. And these are people that are retired school teachers and in their 40s and 50s and they're speakers and coaches and that kind of thing, and mostly people who have been watching me for a while and hadn't jumped in yet,
Mhm.
but now feel like that with AI, they can have the confidence and security to be able to do it well.
That's great. That is really great. What's the most common mistake you see people using or doing when they first approach AI?
So the biggest mistake I see is the quality of prompts.
Mhm.
You can even simply ask ChatGPT, what do you need to know in order to, or who should I talk to find out how to use this properly, and go to people that are experts in the industry, like I did with editing. That's the biggest mistake I see, is the quality of prompts people using. But I would also say the biggest misconception people have is about how much AI does in your writing. It only does to the extent that you ask it to do. And for us, it's really very little. It's really polishing a diamond that's already there.
Yeah, understood. Do you have a golden client or a great example? Obviously, you don't need to name names of somebody who's come along and possibly without AI, they wouldn't have got there or they would have found it incredibly difficult and they've really blossomed as a result.
Yes, actually, I do. So I have a few of them that come to mind, but one that stands out in particular. So she had been writing some nonfiction self-help books. She had a book, a journal, and another book that she was working on. And she'd been working on it for like the last year or so, kind of, eventually getting it done. And then she found out that I had this AI program, and she immediately jumped in. She has all three books done in 5 weeks. Plus, when she was a kid, she had this like dream of doing a fiction book. And it's this fiction book that's been on her mind like for over 20 years. And with the assistance of ChatGPT, she's actually written her fiction book and has a cover that was created by ChatGPT. And she is just absolutely over the moon because it's a dream come true. Plus, the three nonfiction books are just done. Poof, done.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Outside of writing books and helping others write books, are you using AI in any way?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I use it for a lot of things. Marketing is probably the biggest one. Scheduling is another. And in those cases, I usually use it on my phone and I get to just speak it and then push the little button. I've done things like when I was launching my initial AI added program, I said, I'm launching my program in 30 days. Give me a marketing program that, a schedule of marketing posts for Facebook between now and then. And it told me what to post and when, things like that. It's just like, poof, done. I've uploaded books and had it pick out quotes and prompts from it so that it could be posted in social media, like so quick and easy. The words are yours. So I use our authors' books and repost quotes in social media to promote them. And they should be doing the same.
That's really excellent. I love how you're doing that. So, have you have you really started to see a change in your industry that people are really migrating towards AI, or are you just ahead of the curve here?
Um, I've always been a little ahead of the curve. I've
Hmm.
kind of been that pioneer type. Um, so what I've seen, there's really two sides of the publishing world right now. There's the very traditional, old school, hasn't changed much since the 1800s, big five. And then there's the Wild West, which is people who are self-publishing and hybrid publishers. And that's really more where I live.
Just
But I
people
have
getting things done.
Yeah, right. Like we're gonna get it done. But my partner that I partnered with, we've been working together off and on for 5 years. She's that editor I told you about. She's old school traditional. She was a professor at university. She has published with large companies and ghost written for some really big authors. So what she's seeing in her side is people are really resisting. She was just at a big ghostwriting event in New York, and there was one panelist who spoke on AI, and there was resistance in the room. She was very curious because of working with me, and she still hasn't really used ChatGPT. She's helped me, but hasn't done it herself. So there is some resistance in the traditional world. Now, over here in the Wild West, gunslingers, we're just,
We're
like,
just getting on with
AI,
it. We're doing it.
can't wait to see what we're going to do with it. And there are people who are really writing books in just a few hours or a couple of days. And more power to them. As long as you divulge that's what it is,
Mm.
that's fine. If it's entertainment, and I'm okay with that as long as you tell people. But that's not what we do.
No,
We
it's not
do
what
non.
you. I am interested to know a little bit more about your business partner there. The sort of the pushback, there's clearly that level of intimidation, that level of fear
Mhm.
that comes from AI, and it's a classic "it's going to take our jobs" statement that I hear on a regular basis. Quote South
Yes.
Park. But
Yes.
so, how are you getting her to actually get over that fear?
So her name is Tanya Brockett,
Hmm.
and she's a longtime expert editor in the industry. And honestly, when we met 5 years ago, me and my short read bestsellers on Amazon, and her traditional publishing world, even though we were introduced by a mutual friend, we were like, kind of oil and water to begin with. But over time, she started to see the quality in what I did. I started to see the quality in what she did. And we actually became friends. And I started hiring her to do my editing. She started hiring me to make her books bestsellers.
Great.
So it was just a natural thing that came together. She has really educated me in a lot of things that I didn't know about writing and publishing. And I've brought her into more of the mainstream things. So with AI, again, she was kind of resistant, a little hesitant. And then I started to launch this program about AI. I had all kinds of people coming out asking me questions. And she's like, okay, what's going on with this AI thing? And then of course I asked her to help me. So that's been part of it as well.
That's very cool. Very cool indeed. So, if the listeners were to take away one piece of advice from you today with regards to using AI in general or using AI to write a book, what would it be?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just have fun. AI, like particularly ChatGPT, can be your buddy. You can ask it anything. And it's the way that you ask it that makes all the difference. But don't be afraid. Embrace it.
Fantastic. Kathy, that's a really, really great piece of advice. Where can people find you, and what exciting projects have you got that they should be looking at?
The easiest way to hang out with me is bestsellersguild.com. It's a Facebook group of over 3,400 authors, somewhere in the process from starting to bestseller. Quality people who are, like I said, Olympians and doctors and college students who are all very supportive of each other. So I would invite people to come join us there. And what I'm most excited about right now is I have a 9-week bestseller formula program that I've been doing since 2015. And now I've just added AI to it. So it just up levels the whole program. And it's lit a whole new fire under me of excitement for this year. People are embracing it, doing really well with it. So I'm super excited about that. And our next round is starting just in a week or so. So I would love to have people come join us.
Well, that sounds absolutely fantastic, and I hope you get a lot of people joining as a result of that.
Thank you.
Kathy, thank you for your time today, and I wish you the best of luck in everything going forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, that's a wrap on another awesome guest episode for the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. Just before you go, if you like this episode, we would be very grateful for a 5-star review. Please also consider recommending the show to a friend or two. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes at aiadvantage.show right now. Until next time, I'm Richard Wray, and if you're an entrepreneur, get the AI advantage today.